All right, so we've covered area and perimeter individually. Now we're just going to put it together. I'm going to do this first two examples, and you're going to do these next two. All right, so first thing first, go ahead and plot it, x and then y. I'm going to move a little bit faster because at this point, this is just a review. Negative 8x, 5 y, so negative 8 and 5. Plot that point. Please go ahead and label your points so that you know exactly what it is. So this is point A. All right, x is negative 8, y is negative 2. So negative 8, negative 2, this is going to be your point B. All right, then negative 2x and then negative 5y, negative 2x, negative 5y. This is going to be your point C. And then finally, negative 2, 2, negative 2x, 2y. That's going to be your point D. Go ahead and do the best that you can to go ahead and draw that as accurately as possible. All right, so I've done Pythagorean theorem. Now we're going to switch over to distance because what I figured out is a lot of people are getting Pythagorean theorem wrong. So I'm going to take the distance formula. Because they give it to you, you don't even have to remember it. All you're going to do is type it in. So I'm going to copy this exactly as I see. So I see a square root. So that's what I'm going to start with first. Then I'm going to see a parentheses. Then I see x2 minus x1. Then I see squared. Like literally, I'm just typing the whole thing in. Then I see a plus sign. Then I see a parentheses. Then I see y2 minus a y1. I'm literally typing it in. Now, the reason I'm typing it in because I'm going to now put this formula away because now it's in here so that you can just see it all at once. So I just want you to be able to see, and I forgot the 2 right there. All right, I want you to be able to see what we're doing. All right, I'm going to find the distance AB. Okay, so if I'm looking for perimeter, I know I'm going to have to do the whole thing. If I'm looking for area, I know I need base and height. So I'm going to start off with perimeter because it's the whole thing. So what it is perimeter. So starting from A to B, find that distance. B to C, C to D, D to A. So already I know I need this distance formula 4 times. So 4 times, and just I'm going to take out the x's because here I'm going to put the numbers. I need to copy this 4 times because I'm going to show you how to use this distance formula real well, even though you can count the lines. So they are my 4 times. Then I'm just going to go to the points. And now I'm going to show you the first one in detail. And then after that, I'm going to show you the shorter way. So A to B, that means I'm looking at this one right here. And I'm looking at this one right here. So remember, first one is X, second one is Y. So first one, X, second one, Y. First one, X, second one, Y. I'm distinguishing that this is different than this. These are my first ones. These are my second ones. Then all I do is put those in the formula here. Just by reading x2, you've labeled it. What is it? You're going to type it in as it is. Do not leave out a negative if it has a negative. So x2, then x1. What's that? Another negative 8. So here's the big deal. Even though there's a minus sign there, it says negative 8. This minus sign's got nothing to do with this x1. So type in everything. Next one, y2. That's negative 2. Again, you're just copying exactly what you see. Y1, 5. Boom. There is my distance. This distance, A to B, is 7. Now I'm going to speed it up a little bit. So if you didn't quite catch it, hit rewind and watch that slowly because now I'm just going to show you the shortcut that you're going to discover. As long as you put the x's together and the y's together in the same order. So you see if I start with 2, I need 2 here. It will work. So if I'm finding the next distance from B to C, so now I'm looking at these 2 right here. Put the x's together in the same order, meaning if I start here, the second time I come, I start here. So this is negative 8 and negative 2. So I'm going to put negative 8 x's together and negative 2. Now I'm going to put the y's together in the same order. So negative 8 and negative 2. And now I'm putting the y's together. I started on this one, so I'll start on this one. Negative 2 and negative 5. So negative 2 and negative 5. Boom. That's my distance for that one. I'm going to leave that just like it is with a radical because it's a decimal. All right. So it's radical what? 45. And I'm going to double check it. Copy and paste what's underneath. If I put radical 45, you see I still get the same decimal, right? Because that whole thing is radical 45. Shall we go ahead and break this down? Why not? Let's go ahead and, I'm going to leave it. This is radical 45. I make sure that I break down my whole answer though. All right, so that one's radical 45. Again, now I'm going to show you the shortcut again. Okay, so C to D. So I'm looking at this and this. Put the x's together. So if I start here, -2, -2. So I come right here, x's together, -2 and -2. Y's together in the same order. So I started on this one, -5, 2. So I come to the y's, -5, 2. And just like that, boom, I got that distance, which is 7. Makes sense. Opposite sides they look the same, which means this is also square root of 45. But I want to show you the shortcut again. So the last one is C to D. Oh, I did C to D already. D to A or A to D. The order doesn't matter. So it's just this one and the last one. So again, X is -8, -2. So I come right here. -8, -2. And then same order, 5, the y's together, and 2. 5 and 2 together. Boom. And it should give you the same decimal because we can see they're the same, right? So that simplifies to radical, not simplifies, but it's radical 45 unsimplified. Okay. There, I just found the distance around the whole shape. Now, let us find, okay, so if a fence is placed around this area, find the length of the fence needed to go around. So perimeter, it's asking for the perimeter. The perimeter is you start somewhere and you go around the whole shape. So I start from here and I go to here. What's that distance? 7. So my perimeter is 7 plus. Then once I'm here, I go from here to here. What's that distance? Radical 45. Now let's go ahead and break down radical 45 because since I'm adding, I need to know what that simplifies to. So radical 45. Let's break that down. Now, I'm pretend we don't know our multiplication facts. So I'm going to say 45 divided by 2 doesn't work. Divided by 3 works. 15. So 15 is my new number. Divided by 2 doesn't work. Divided by 3, it works. And I can't break down 5 anymore. So just checking. 45, just to make sure, breaks down into, look at the numbers, 3, 3, and then don't forget this one, 5. And as long as it matches, then I'm okay. So 3, 3, 5. All right, so does it match? It sure does. So I'm going to undo this. See, they're all the same thing because everything underneath this radical is this number 45, but you still got to put the radical back. The 45 can break down to this, but you still got to have the radical in there. Finally, do you see any books? I do. 2 cards make 1 book. So here's a book. 2 cards make, you put it outside. 1 book. The number stays the same. I know I'm right. So this radical 45, and I'll just show you the breakdown right here. Please write it down. This was 3, 15, then it was 3, then a 5, right? Which is going to become 3, 3, 5. There's my 1 book. Now you see how I'm showing my work? Whatever I do on the calculator, I'm putting it on the paper. That's what I need for your question. So this simplifies to 3 radical 5. And you can see it's the exact same thing. So now I'm at C. Then I'm going to go from C to D because remember, I didn't run in that video for no reason. All right, so this is +7. Secure the perimeter, Miss Ainley. Go around the shape. Now finally, I need to get back to A, D to A. So that's going to become the same radical 45, which simplifies to 3 radical 5. So this is what I am adding. So let's combine things that look the same. 7 plus 7, 14. Radical 3 radical 5 plus 3 radical 5. Because they're the same, I can combine them. So this is like saying 3 apples plus 3 apples. What do I have? 6 apples. But instead of writing apples, I'm going to write what? Radical 5. Can I combine 14 and 6 radical 5? No. Why not? They're not the same. Therefore, this is the perimeter. Now, let's assume that you're doing this in a test, okay? What you're going to do is after you find all of these, so boom, 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 put them all in one sentence, adding them together. All right, so I'm going to get rid of my extras so I don't do that. So this is what I'm saying. So you don't even have to simplify. If I'm finding perimeter, I'm going to do the first thing plus the second thing. Oops, I pressed X by mistake. So I'm on the second thing plus, and make sure this plus is outside. The next one, I'm using the arrow to get all the way to the end. And then plus the last one, which is this one. I'm using the right arrow to get all the way to the end because it won't go that far. Boom, I added all of them together. I'm going to have multiple choice. One of my multiple choice answers will be the answer I got. So I'll put all of this in the calculator. Then I'll come in and put all the different answer choices if I don't want to simplify. So I'm putting in, I'm assuming this would be an answer choice. And if the decimals are the same, then you know that's the answer. That's how you find perimeter, the distance around the whole shape. All right, so now let's find the areas. What we're going to do is make the base the floor. So I need you to find one side on this shape that you can make the floor by turning your computer. So I want something that's horizontal, like in line with the, or parallel to the x-axis, something that's horizontal to the x-axis. So looking at this is not horizontal, this is slanting. So I'm going to turn my computer around. So boom. Turn my computer around. You see now? This is horizontal, right? It's going right across. So once I have my base that's horizontal, what you're going to do, so right now my base is what number? 7. What I'm going to do is find the height. And the height is the vertical distance. Like think of it, the y-axis going straight up, starting from the base, and it makes a 90-degree angle. So in other words, it has to be the x-axis and the y-axis. So I have my x-axis right here, and I need my y-axis to go straight up. So I'm going to go straight up at any point. I can pick any point, just go straight up to the very top. This is the top. Now, if I pick here, do I get the top if I go here? No. So I need to pick anything here that starts on the base, the bottom, and goes straight up. So you can see, if I pick it right here, the base to the top is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 boxes. Now you can go ahead and put the distance formula using the coordinates. This one's -2, -2, and then this one is -8, -2. But we can just count the boxes. Be careful when you're counting. Do not count 1 over here. You haven't moved. Count 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or you can count the physical boxes. See this box? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So my height, and I'm going to draw this in a while because this is a picture. My base is this right here, which is 7. My height is 6. All right, so now I'm going to go back to my actual work. All right, so again, we just discovered, all right, that this right here is going to be my height. There's my 90-degree angle, which makes it 6. So the area of a parallelogram or a rectangle or a square is base times height. So this area is equal to the base, which is 7, times the height, which is 6. So the area is 7 times 6, which is 42. All right, now you're going to repeat the process. This time it's a triangle after you plot it. Could you also correct this to J, K, and this should be L. So this is L, and then correct this from area to perimeter. All right, so this is what I want to see when you bring me this sheet of formula, what you're putting in the calculator, because I'm not going to ask you to see the calculator. So what I'm looking for is, say the triangle base is somewhere over here. I'm looking to see square root, okay, the distance formula for that. Then let's say there's a triangle over here. I'm looking to see, how did you find that one? What did you put in the calculator? So I want to see with the numbers, right, what you put there. Let's say the third side is somewhere over here. Then I'm looking to see this on that side. What did you put in the calculator? I want to see it filled out in here. So these are how you find the 3 sides. Show me the work. I want to see a simplified version. So, you know, if this simplifies, it's not a whole number, it simplifies, I want to see it. Make sure I see it right here. Whatever you're doing in the calculator, please show me right here. Go ahead and find the perimeter of the triangle. So this plus that. Okay, that's the perimeter. Find the area of a triangle, which means you need the base and the height, and then you multiply by half. So the flat side, and then straight up and down to the top of the triangle. Height, base times height times a half. Let's get this.